So we have people from YouTube, we have people from Facebook, and I'd like to know if any of you can hear me. I just want a feedback from the audience. So I would know if I'm not speaking with myself. Please, can you hear me perfectly? Hi, Mr. Olanipeku. Are you on the call? Can you hear me, please? Oh, thank you very much, sir. All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day two of the virtual career masterclass. As we all know, this masterclass is for final year students and fresh graduates. And like yesterday we had two very amazing speakers. We had Taiwo Joseph and we also had Oluwaseyi Gbadebo. They spoke on various topics and they really talked extensively. And of course, we learned a lot. The topic basically was the point of leverage, maximizing your career potential. Well, today we are starting, of course, right now, and we have three amazing speakers. One, we have pharmacist Oluwaseyi Samuel. I read his biography recently and I was wowed. We also have Mr. Abayomi Perez, and we have the amazing Oladotun Ajayi. So you definitely do not want to miss out on any of this. So really implore you to share this flyer with your friends and do well to share the link with your friends so they can join and be mind blown and have a mind shifting experience. I'd like to say a big thank you to Mr. Olanik Pekun for putting this together. Thank you very much. Well, I know that some of you might be surprised or might be wondering who is this lady speaking. I introduced myself yesterday and I would still like to introduce myself today again. My name is Greatness Latono, and you can call me the Global MC. I'm an event host, a voiceover artist, and also the convener of Evolve with Greatness, which is basically a self development platform. And I'm super honored and grateful to be your moderator for today. Thank you very much. Okay, so I really cannot see any comments from Facebook, Telegram. I think we're on Telegram as well, and YouTube. I'd really like to see your comments come in before I bring up the first speaker. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTube people. Let me put it like that. Hello, guys on Facebook, on Telegram. Please, can you hear me? I would like to see your comments. You can just put a comment if you can hear me, or just put a comment and then I'll definitely see it and acknowledge you. Let's give that few minutes. Hi, Prosper. Good evening. You were here yesterday. I'm super excited to have you here today again. Hello, Godwin. Good evening, sir. How are you doing today? I hope you had a great day and I hope we all went to church if we are Christians. And I hope that service was amazing. Well, my service was amazing. I hope yours was amazing as well. Okay, so thank you very much, Prosper. Thank you very much, Godwin. Like I said earlier, yesterday we had Taiwo Joseph. She spoke on unemployment issues, how to advance your career path by personal branding, strategic job positioning, building your network, and going to events. Sorry about that. And she also spoke on how to turn your passion into career advancement, where she talked about building your skills in the right career path and be a part of the community that you have passion in. We also had Mr. Oluwaseyi Gbadebo, who talked on things you can leverage. He spoke on relationships, technology, family by having a good name, opportunities by doing a great job, and victory loves preparation. That was a point he gave. Yes, he said it. He said victory loves preparation. And I do hope that I know, I don't even hope. I know that today's session is going to be as amazing as yesterday's session. Thank you very much, Prosper. I'm glad you can hear me. Hello, Esther. Hi, Esther. How are you doing today? All right. So, I'd not like to waste our time. I would like to bring up the first speaker. But before I bring up the first speaker, I love to interact with my audience. So, I'd just like anybody in the comments section to just type in something. What did you learn yesterday? What stood out for you yesterday? And what are you willing to take action? In from everything that the speaker said yesterday. I know Prosper asked it a number of questions from each of the speakers, and I really loved that. Really, it's good job, good job. And I do hope you have questions for the speakers today as well. So I'd like to know, what did we learn yesterday? For me, I learned to be excellent. I learned that victory loves preparation. I also learned to do a good job whenever an opportunity comes my way. Mr. Badebo talked a lot. He gave us different stories, background stories of how opportunities came, and even in a short while he was still able to do a very good job. I learned how to connect with people that I want to call mentors. So I'd like to hear from us. I'll give us a few minutes to just check our notes and type. Thank you. So, guys, I'm still waiting. You never know who is here. You never, ever, ever know. It could be your business partner and just sees what you type and is like, wow, I like this Esther girl. I'd like to have her on a project of mine. So, I would like to hear your comments, everybody. Thank you. All right. So, it seems like people are shy today. But I know after this session it's going to be better, definitely. I was really expecting Prosper's comment, but it's really fine. All right, thank you, Esther. Esther says develop and build up yourself. So when opportunity comes, you'll be able to leverage it. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, it's good for every opportunity to meet preparation. Now, okay, Prosper, thank you, Prosper. It says, from Taiwo Joseph, I learned the importance of branding oneself. Yes, personal branding. She talked about that. She said it's not just about posting yourself on LinkedIn, on Instagram. She said you have to identify your uniqueness and build your skills. I used to say something that hard work beats talent each and every day and every time. So if you are so talented at something, but you do not put in the hard work, then trust me, you will not get the result that you want. So you have to learn to brand yourself. Thank you very much, guys. All right, right now I'm going to be reading the biography of our first speaker today. Is really an amazing person. Like I said, I think I was about to read his biography yesterday and I was like, wow, this is mind-blowing. So our first speaker is Mr. Oluwaseyi Samuel Akombi. Actually, not Mr. He is a pharmacist, and there is more to him. So, he is a pharmacist, marketing specialist, sales professional, and teacher, and a public relations officer, strategic communicator, and project coordinator or manager with solid experience in operations and supply chain management. Is a strategic business leader with a proven track record in driving growth and profitability. Is an expert in pharmaceutical care, marketing, sales, and supply chain management, possessing a strong foundation in business analysis, procurement, and sustainable supply chain practices, with a focus on recycling and decarbonization. Excellency in crafting and executing effective marketing strategies, leading high performance teams, and optimizing operations. With a deep understanding of the Nigerian market and a passion for innovation, it delivers exceptional results, proven ability to build strong relationships, influence stakeholders, and achieve business objectives. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that this is not an on site event, it's a virtual one, but I want to see our comments saying, Welcome, Mr. Oluwaseyi. Ladies and gentlemen, with a rousing ovation, please let us make welcome Mr. Actually, not Mr. Pharmacist Oluwaseyi Samuel Akombi. Good evening, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you. Although I can't see myself yet. I don't know why. So I can hear you, and I am very glad to be here. And I'm just excited to just share one or two things to help us and everyone connected to this event. Grow and move from point A to point B in their careers. So I'm really happy to be here, and I hope that we'll have a very productive time. And by the grace of God, this would be one of your best 1 hour in the week. I hope so. I hope we'll be able to learn a lot from this event. And like Minecraft Africa is known for, we don't waste people's time. So if you are committing an hour or two or 3 hours, depending on your availability in any of our events, I can bet you that you will not remain the same. It's very important. I strongly believe that knowledge should lead to righteousness. Righteousness means that doing the right thing. So you know better, you should do better. So whatever it is that you learn from this boot camp, from the first sessions, from the speakers, no matter how little it is, please grab it. One of the things that have changed our own lives are the little things, the little whispers of you can do it, the little whispers of the little direction or a ray of what do you call it now, of light, you know, that you can, walk towards, So please be prepared to receive, be attentive, and I truly hope that it will be worth, the time. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Yeah, you are welcome.
Yes, sir.
I
Uh,
think you can toggle your video access because I could see you earlier, but now I'm only
yes,
seeing a green screen.
yes. So I
Please
have
toggle
tried,
your camera,
I have tried,
or you can opt out and opt in again.
yeah, I have tried. Oh, good.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Oh, this is it. This is perfect. This is perfect.
Good, 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 good.
All right.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Okay,
All
so
right. We are giving you the stage. You can steal the show.
Okay, so all right, thank you so much. Yes. All right. Um, I'm trying to share my document. I don't know. I'm saying that I can share my screen, but I want to share a specific document. So just give me some few seconds. Do I share my screen? Okay, so I think I'll have to share my screen. So that means, um, so I think I'll have to share my screen, my entire screen. So yes. I don't know if this is working. Can you see my screen?
No,
Okay. Can
sir,
you see
we
my
can't.
screen? Let me know when you can see my screen, please.
All right, no problem, sir.
Because it's telling me that I have done it here. So I don't know why what's happening. Stop sharing. Let me reshare. Share entire screen. Entire screen. Share. How about now? Can you see my screen?
No, sir, we can't see your screen. But checking from here, there is another slide that is showing, and on that slide, I can see your screen. Yes, I can see it now.
Good. Yes. Yes. So is it perfect now?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So I don't know. Um, I'm tempted to. Okay, it's all right. So just let me know if there are issues if you can't see. So I am on the flyer page. I hope that is what is reflecting on your end.
Yes, it is.
Good, thank you. All right. So for the past few sessions, since yesterday, I am aware that the various speakers have touched different parts, different aspects of maximizing your career potential, and I'll be talking more about leveraging, how to leverage, how to use the instrument of leverage, the leverage system, you know, to maximize your career, to maximize your career potential. So, um, leverage in the context of personal and professional growth refers to the ability to amplify, amplify. Do you understand? So, and you need to take note of some of these things. So, it refers to the ability to amplify one's impact or resources through strategic thinking and action. So, in this masterclass, we'll be exploring some practical strategies for leveraging your potential to achieve your career goals. So one of the things that should stand out for you here is ability to amplify impact, resources, strategic thinking, and actions. So leverage is the ability to achieve, you can see, a disproportionate outcome with a minimal effort. So I am here to tell you, to help you realize that there is a system, there is an opportunity for you to do little, do you understand, and get a very big reward, or what you can call a disproportionate. The opposite of disproportionate is a complementary reward. So in other words, even the great law, it says that whatever you sow, you reap. That's one of, I think, the third out of the 12 great law. You can also find it in the Bible and in some, that whatever a man sows, you will reap. In the same measure by which you sow, you will reap. That is a direct principle. But there is another principle that is called leverage, where you can do a little little and get a little more. And that is what I want us to open ourselves to. So I'm sure you would have been in circles where you hear things like, it's not about hard work, it's about smart work. And although I have a bit of issues with some of those views, because it is half truth. You need both hard work and smart work. But I think in the context by which some of these people, they say it, they are trying to emphasize that sometimes, or in many situations, it's about the smart work. And most of the time, the smart works, in quote, are not physically demanding. They can be mentally demanding. And that is where you see, when I told you about strategic thinking and action. True strategic thinking and action. In other words, you can achieve a disproportionate outcome with minimal effort. And that effort has more to do with the brain work. The brain work. So, um, this is from Archimedes, which says, "Give me a lever long enough and a place to stand on, and I will move the earth." Give me a lever long enough and a place to stand on, and I will move the earth. So I'm not going to talk about Archimedes' principle, because I believe that, you know some of you might be familiar with it. But what I'm saying is, you too, you can leverage, for example, technology in this modern age to reach a wider audience. You can leverage economies of scale to reduce costs. So what they call economies of scale is a business term, or what we call, in the area of procurement, where you manufacture more with a reduced cost. In other words, you will see that when you go into contract, there are always stipulated, we will call it bulk amount. For example, you want to make shoes, and you go to a factory, shoe factory. They will tell you that if you make 1,000 pieces, we will give you at one unit cost of maybe 300 naira. So that's 300,000. If you make 5,000 pieces, we will give you at 150, half of the price. That is what they call economy economies of scale. So scale in the sense that the more you make, they reduced the cost of production. It is a principle, it's an economic principle. There's economic of scope. Economies of scope means that if you want to make shoes, maybe you are connected to some private schools or universities, and you want to supply shoes, it is better for you to go to a shoemaker than to go to a fashion store, a fashion company. A fashion company can do that same job, but you will get it at an higher cost because that is not their scope. Do you understand? But when you go to a shoe factory, that is the scope. That is what they do. You get at a reduced cost. So there is economic of scope, meaning that go to the right, is a procurement strategy. These are, things that has to do with procurement, that has to do with all of those things. So what I'm saying in essence is there is what we call economic of scale, where you can manufacture more at a reduced cost, and that is called leveraging. Is a leverage. You can leverage, you know your machinery. You can leverage, because sometimes it is the same time it takes you to manufacture 5,000 that it will take you to manufacture 50,000. Sometimes it is the same number of people. Do you get? So it is more profitable to make more with little. So that is what they call leverage. You can leverage your mentors, you can leverage networks, you can leverage resources to accelerate your career growth. And this is a summary of what I'll be discussing with you. So let's just get into it. Now, look at this. There is a management principle we call the tipping point. Um, I don't know if you are quite familiar with it, but the tipping point is the point where is a is the leverage point, but you can also find it as the tipping point where a small push will give you a higher result. You'd see that some of our celebrities, some of this, they are not doing much. In fact, some of them, the quality of their work had dropped drastically, but they keep getting even far more rewards than when they were, putting in so much effort. So much effort. Sometimes you listen to some of the musicians you so much respect, and you'll be underwhelmed by the quality of the work that they are churning out. It looks like they are losing steam, but the metrics is showing otherwise. They are seeing more growth in whatever it is that they find as KPIs. They are making more money, getting more streams, getting more invites, reaching more audience. But at that point, they are not doing as much as they were doing when they needed the acceptability of the audience. Because that point in their career is called ground level, is plain. This is a plain ground level. It means that if they push these tires just with a hand, it can continue to roll on its own. Do you understand? So that is why we leverage is called a system, because at some point, the little effort you give, every other thing, every other principle cooperates with it, and it begins to give you results. So imagine they were pushing this up a mountain or up a hill, you know, you understand that, or plane, or whether a lower plane or a higher plane, they will need more effort to push. In fact, the tires may want to roll back towards them. But once they get to a plane, or they get to the top of a slopey area, it can begin to roll by itself. This is what leverage is. And I'm going to tell you that every one of us here, under the sound of my voice, we have one thing or the other that we can leverage. There are resources that we have been provided with. So far that you have 24 hours a day, I mean, there are things that unifies us, the rich and the poor. There are things that we have in common, that it is a blessing from God. God has given us irrespective of where we come from over the face of the earth. And those are the raw materials for career success, of career, whatever it is. So this is another one that is called leverage, the leverage system. So the first thing that you can leverage is your skills and talent. So there is nobody that will say, I do not have a skill. You can say that, oh, your skill does not match, or the skills that you have does not match the career you want to transition into. So you need to gain more. Yeah, but there is something that you have. There is a set of skills that you have. There are a set of talents that you have that you can leverage. Leverage in the sense that you can use to get you that result. And the practical step is you need to identify your strengths, understand your unique abilities, and how they can be applied to your career. So this is not some English. This takes careful thinking. Develop how you can do a particular task. That is what I'm talking about. Develop your own style of how you can do a particular task. When I was in the university, of course, I keep going back to university and all, but in my first degree, I used to read 1 hour every day from the beginning of the term. Sometimes when there are periods of a very quiet academic work, maybe the beginning, the first 1 month into the academic calendar, in fact, sometimes you've not even taken any lecture from a course. I use those periods to read other things, other books. But there was a culture of reading 1 hour every day. Towards exam, I extend it. I read in groups where we read overnight, which is a common practice in Nigeria. So what I'm trying to say here is that I discovered that that was my star. My strength was had to do with the consistency. I cannot crash read, I cannot cram. Do you understand? So it was not a star. I have never, in fact, the way my brain is programmed, I cannot cram. So it sort of takes me a little more time to really understand, because I have to understand it in my way. And my God, if I am able to understand it in my way, I can never forget for life, because I have found it. These are things that you found. If I'm able to put it in my own way, imagine it in my own world, okay, so this is what this course is all about. These are the learning objectives, and I'm able to derive that from the entire course, the entire module. That is it for me. But it takes me a lot of time. It takes me every day. And do you know that I get the same result? In fact, with people who do not read until maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we both have our distinctions. Some of us finished with first class in our because that was their star. That was their strength. The ability to take in a lot within a short moment. It could be that they have a more focus. Maybe I was not focused. Maybe I was not the type that was, 100% focused. I'm just sharing, but I developed my style. It was a try and error at the beginning, but I eventually found that for me to achieve this has to be my own unique ability, and how I can apply this is my makeup. This is how my brain operate. This is how I program information. It is not just once. I don't go to it once. I have to go through it over and over again, over and over again. In fact, I discovered that I needed to even teach. So I take tutorial classes. I take some of my colleagues, towards the exams. And the more I take them, the more I know it better. Sometimes I even discover, gaps in my knowledge, or things that, oh, maybe we need to also look into this in the process of teaching. So identify your strength. Your strength has to do with your own way of doing a particular thing. So those are some of the things that you can leverage. Your skills. And the only way you can do so, your skills and talent, is identify. If you are the type that you want to go into, you have to work on the laptop for long, and that is the only way you need to be able to sit down with a laptop. Maybe you are doing data analysis that requires long hours of work. You need to find the atmosphere for you that works for you. Those little things that you are doing, they are called the leverage system. They are very minor things that you can add to your career, that you can include in your life. that can give you increase your productivity. So you are leveraging. That is the real essence. You are leveraging. Then you also need to develop your skills. So continuously invest in your professional development through education, training, and practice. So education is get the education, go for that course, take that, always come for meetings like this, you know. Then practice is find somewhere to serve. Find one thing or the other to do where you can put all that you have learned into practice. Then find your niche. Specialize in a particular area to become an expert and stand out from the competition. You can be versatile, you know, and you know that they says that jack of all trade, master of none, you know. It does not mean that you shouldn't be versatile. As much as possible you can, but be known for an area. If you are talking about TV screens, entertainment, warriors, people who are doing excellently well, there are names that comes to your mind. Why? Not because they are not invested in other things. In fact, some of them are into real estate, some of them are into sports, some of them are into quite a number of things, but their dominant area, have a dominant area where you can say you can be many things, but this is what you become first. So leverage your skills and talent. That particular skill that you have, look for how to use it to improve your career. If it is talking and you work in a bank, begin to target customer service role where all you have to do is talking. Begin to look for marketing. Banks have marketing where you go and meet businesses and clients and offer them, you know, tools, technologies. These are what we are calling leveraging. Do not remain as a perhaps maybe a cashier and say and be, you know, be pitying yourself and be living in regret. Look at what you have, what is in your hand. God asked Moses when they were at the Red Sea, what is in your hands? There are some things that are in your hands that you can leverage on. Nobody is without a skill or a talent. So the first one is leverage your skill. Use your skill to achieve what you want in whatever it is that you are doing or where you are going. The second thing is that is your network, and this is very important. Let me tell you, some of the tailors you find on Instagram, they are not better than the ones that are in our, you know, local streets. They are not. In fact, I discovered that some of them even they subcontract some of these works for some of these tailors, maybe this local who are very good. But the difference between, you know, there is a saying I used to hear when I was, you know, quite young. They says the difference between the rich and the poor is who they know. It is talking about the power of networking. You can leverage other people. You can leverage other people's skill. Leverage other people. If I am, you know, God forbid, incapacitated and I have an invite to speak to a diverse, a multicultural audience of about 1,000 persons from Asia, Africa, American, Europe, you know, and I cannot go. I can leverage the likes of my circle, like our convener, um, Mr. Okpe. I can leverage some other people because those are their key skills and they are part of my community. In other words, these people can stand in gap and give me that same result that I cannot. That is leveraging your network. It means that use the skills that other people have. Recently, Tony Elumelu said something. He says he does not have any talent. What he has is to identify other talent and manage them. You can find that with some other people. The same thing with Mark Zuckerberg, who says that, oh, he does not, this technology of a thing, the AI, all of those things, he does not really know so much. That what he does is just to look for people and, you know, put them together in a room and they start to create magic. You can find that with Don Jazzy. I don't know his real name, but you see that he manages a record label He's not seen to really have that, that music. He's a better manager. He's an excellent manager. That is his core strength, ability to bring out talent, promote talent, project talent. I'm sure that if he was the face, maybe he released a song, he might not get that acceptance or even more streams like the younger people he's promoting, So what I'm saying is, leverage your network. The kind of people that God has placed in you, in your capacity, leverage them. And I used to talk about a cross-functional relationship, because I'm about to talk about building strong relationships. So how can you leverage network? Has to do with building strong relationships. So strong relationships is, as an undergraduate, focus more on your colleagues. Try and build a very great bond with some of your colleagues than those who are 10, 20, 15 years ahead of you. Because I have seen that you will benefit more from leveraging your immediate network of your colleagues. They might not look like they will offer much now, but in the next 5 years, they are not going to be the same. They are not going to, nobody is going to remain the same. Some will progress, some might be in the same spot, some might even go back, but then everybody will still have a role to play. And it is easier for you to reach them than for you to, start looking out for people who are far ahead of you in their professional and career life. So the first thing is, build strong relationships, connect with people in your industry. If you are an agricultural technologist, how many agricultural technologists do you know in other universities? Not just in your, or how many people do you know? Do you know lawyers? Do you know business analysts? Do you know? Because let me tell you, at some point in your life, when you want to start a business, the first place you will look at is your contact. Who can you call to get an information for free? That's what we call leveraging. Informations that people pay for. I recently wrote a business proposal for a colleague of mine who wants to run a snack store. You know, it was about 40 something pages for free. It took me some time, like a week or so. I had to put it down. I had to share my own insight on how I understood the Nigerian market, the food and beverage industry, you know areas, point of areas, how the business can scale up. We were having meetings back to back, just to put some things together, and it was for free because I am part of the circle, the network. Leveraging your network gives you things for free, things you normally, pay for, gives you for free, and it starts with building strong relationship. Be that responsible friend. Some of you are not responsible. What I mean responsible is, you don't response and able, ability to respond rightly. That's where we call it responsible. Some of you don't show up. You are lackadaisical. They can't trust you. Nobody can trust you. Another thing is that your friends don't even know your strength. They don't know where you belong. They don't know what you are good at. They don't know what to consult you. They don't know where to place you. And all of that needs to stop now. Like, you need to go back in your closet and recalibrate your life. You need to start building strong relationships. Look at the rich people in our country. Look at the rich people. Look at them. They are is either they are married, there is always a network of, relationships that we see. There might be, competition, which is, some of them are healthy or not, but you find them, you even discover that some of them attend the same schools. Look at the billionaires, the people from the east, the northern billionaires, the southern ones, everybody. There is a network, there is a kind of a fabric that, that weaves them together. That is network. I used to have a boss, or I will call him a boss because he's a boss of a boss. So, and I had met him in one of our occasions because we had a project together, and he said, see, Samuel, if you want to import anything, because I know you're a pharmacist, you might, have a product of your own. If you want to import anything into the call me, just see me, I can share you some of my contacts. So in other words, there is a system I can leverage to get an information. Okay, so what's the current tariff? How is it? Do you have a freight forwarder? Do you have an agent, clearing agent? All of those things. I have where I can get that information. Information that people pay millions for. Leverage your network. So after building strong relationship, leverage your network. Seek advice. Be under proper mentorship and seek opportunities through connections. The last job I had as a manager, in a pharmaceutical company, it was a friend that recommended me. You know, the friend just said, this is the KPI. Oh. This business is at this level, and the only person with the rigor, with the brain and talent that can do all of this job is this person. So reach out to him, share, discuss the package, and if it's okay, that was boom. That was how I got the job. In fact, I got the job and I was told to apply so that it can be in the official database that okay, there was an application process that followed it. That is network. And that was because I kept telling some of my network that see, my target is that in the next 5 years of my career, I should be able to earn at least a 1 million naira monthly. In the next 10 years, we should have built our career to the extent that we can say, okay, we are part of people who earn 3 million, 5 million in that same Nigeria, in that same economy. So the challenge, you take up the challenge, you start upscaling, looking for opportunities where you build. Sometimes we have even transitioned into other things like procurement, like decarbonized waste management, recycling, you know, in a bid to achieve that particular goal. But all I'm saying is I kept sharing it with my network. Okay, so these are the opportunities I'm looking for. And we do the same for each other, you know. And so it has been very helpful because opportunities through your connections, they are very sweet. I'm not gonna lie to you. They are very sweet because you have a backing. If in fact when you attend interviews where you were highly recommended, there is a confidence that comes upon you because you are speaking from a foreknowledge that you are most likely going to be accepted. You are more honest, you are more open, you are more resounding. There is no fear. All of the doubt and fear. What if I, which unsettles people during the process of recruitment, you do not experience it. Then at the same time, give back to your network or help your friends too. If you are there, draw them, share opportunities, let them know there's an opening here. And these are what we do when people reach out to me that they need, because I also run a little bit of recruitment. I recruit for some businesses, and the people reach out to me that so they need this, they need that, and that's how it works. I've never sent an application to any business that, oh, I am a recruiter. But people just throw the jobs at me. They need someone for this, they need someone for that. And I begin to source, I share with my network, and they help me get the job done. So also give back. And some of them also recommend people that I have a sister, I have this one, and I fix them somewhere. So give back, help your network. Be someone that they know that you are not a parasite. you know there's something that you are contributing to the network, to your niche, to your ecosystem. Is either you are contributing insight, knowledge. First, you are the person that says, guys, we need to start investing. We need to have lands in our name. you know or we need to get married, we need to, settle. You should be the kind of person they know that, okay, when it comes to foresight and vision, because you people think that everything is about money. Sometimes it's about counsel, it's about instructions, it's about, whatever it is that you have received from God. you know okay, you think that, people should adopt this, like, just share, let be contribute. Contribute, show up for people. One of your colleagues is having a birthday, be the one that will go help, run. Just show up, give back. That is how to build your. In fact, one of the laws of relationship is that you seek to give, and Many people have adopted this in their mentor protege relationship. When you meet a rich person, don't discuss your needs. In fact, these are some of the things that myself and Mr. Opeoluwa we have learned, we have discussed, we have practiced in our lives. When you meet people of high, you talk more about them, their current project, what are they doing. You share, you ask them how were they able to achieve this. You show interest in what it is about them. Rich people, accomplished people, they like to talk about what they have done. They like to share, show interest. We have, we have been in different, I have had interactions with political figures. In fact, you need to flatter them, let them know some of their, okay, the ones they are doing well, they are doing well, and the ones they are not doing well, you constructively criticize that. You thought, oh, they would have taken this because from your own knowledge, you think that, okay, if they include younger people in their team, they'll be able to cater for you. That is how they see value. Not give me, sir, not sir, sir, I sent you a mail, sir, I'm expecting a response, sir, I'm no. Offer them gift, as little as it can be. Show up for their event, register, announce. You can share their flyer, you can even develop flyers for their event freely. These are things that you can do to invest, to give back to whoever, your community, your mentors. And the reward is that you have the ability to leverage their collective success. If you have a friend in oil and gas industry, I can tell you that most likely in the next 5 years, two of your friends of your network would have been in that. Because when someone is in an industry, it is easier for others to transit because you get honest feedback. Informations you can't find online, they tell you that this is how it is. So the next thing you can leverage is your network, your network, your network, your network. Go and work on this, guys. Go and work on this. Now, opportunities. So the next thing you can leverage, because I'm talking about the points of leverage. I started from your skills and talent. Use what you have, no matter what, as little as it can be. Use it, identify your strengths, learn how to apply them, develop your skills, leverage your network, then leveraging opportunities. So opportunity here has to do with any opening, any new opening. Leverage it, use it to your advantage. Be And the ways to do this is that you have to be proactive. In other words, if there are free scholarship, you want to learn a digital skill, and you see online there are these that, as little as it can be, some of these they might not be a proper school. In fact, some of them might not offer you a certificate, but as little as it can be, leverage, use it so that you can also say, when you now have the opportunity to, request for, maybe apply for a program, and some of them are fully funded, you can say that you have certain experiences. Think outside the box, follow your path, explore unconventional paths and approaches. Follow your path. Don't study what everybody is studying. I understand that the way the Nigerian economy is, some courses, some disciplines have not found their foot, you know, in the country, in the context of our economy and employability. But in other words, there are opportunities elsewhere. Follow, explore unconventional path. Do the same thing in a new way, so to say. Seize the moment. Be prepared to capitalize on the unexpected opportunity. Be opportunity ready. And opportunity we are talking about, it has to do with any opening. It could be that you are called to serve. It could be for free. It could be for a short time. Anything that you did not pay for, or you paid little for, that will add to your value, is called opportunity. It could even be something that is not directly related to career per se. It could be an exposure. It could be a boot camp, a training. It could be things organized by your church, your local assembly, your community. Maybe a one-day free career talk, or how to make snacks. It may look like, what I mean, is that what you want to be doing? You are a software engineer. What do you have to do with how to make but attend if you can spare the time. Look at the opportunity cost. There's what we call opportunity cost in economics. If you will be there, if you won't be there, what would you rather be doing? Is it sleeping at home? Then you weigh it. So it pays to be there, even if you don't participate actively, because it does not represent your interest. The knowledge is there. Nobody can take it away from you. So leverage the opportunities that you have, and it has nothing to do with your circumstance. Let me tell you, if you come from a very local area, we all came from local area, and we grew up under challenging circumstances, you can still leverage the fact that you come from a local area. You can cater for their needs. The competition in the city, in urban area, is so high. The entry level can be high as well. You can start a business with a million naira in a small town, and you will flourish. You can make a profit of at least 50,000 monthly, you know, and you can even start to make that profit immediately. But if you go to city, before you can break even, it takes time. You can start a business from a joint venture. You might not have your own space. Some things are permissible because you are in a very local area. So don't say you are in a town. People can park on the road and patronize you in some cities. In fact, in Europe, those are some of the things you consider before you buy a car. There are no free parking spaces. You can't just park by the road and say, oh, you want to get something in a store. No, you have to drive some kilometers. In fact, in some very conservative area, there is a designated car park. You now take a bus to where you are going. So if you come from a local area, leverage that opportunity, that local, look out for what they need and provide. Consider a low cost business. People will still patronize you in a small town if you don't have a generator, if you have a rechargeable lamp. So far your shop is like, you can make gains. Unlike when you are in the city, you in fact you appear like a clown running a restaurant without parking space in places like Lagos. Who will buy from you? Your customers are supposed to be middle class, people who supposedly should own a car, you know, who are busy. So you need to have a system where people must spend nothing more than 5-10 minutes in your store. You need to have efficient payment system, order processing, order packaging, excellent delivery. These are things that you might not put in place in a very local area and still have a headway and still make a start and learn. You can use that experience to learn. I'm letting you know this because no matter where you come from the earth, you can make gains. Look within. There are opportunities there. There are opportunities there. And the last thing you can leverage is technology. You can use digital tools, to enhance your productivity, your communication, your networking. You can leverage social media, build your personal brand. There is something about Instagram where you can design your Instagram account that it represents what you do. In fact, because your branding is so attractive, there is something around psychology of selling which I would have loved to discuss, but then this is not the class for it. That has to do with, there are a lot of research. In fact, one shows that people buy from a store because of a kind of color of their wall. These are evidence-based research. There are a lot of research that, there is one that I recently encountered that shows that luxury is psychological. You can sell anything and, brand it and create a story around luxury around it. It has to do with marketing. There's a saying in marketing that the best product do not sell. It is the most marketed product. You can market pure water in such a way that everybody wants to have a drink, from your polythene bag water. So you can leverage social media, use social media to amplify the little things you do. Go to YouTube. Some people are making a lot of money from YouTube with a very small smartphone. They are not using the iPhones, they just place the phone and they share educational content. They share content that can improve your life. one way or the other, that can cater for your, that can, you know, quench your curiosity. And they don't have that great video, that light, that, big camera, big studio, editing, that editing. It's just simple videos, just simple. Oh, this one, and people watch, people share their content. That's the power of social media. Then online learning, access a wealth of resources and courses to develop your skill. Some of these courses are even free. There are Google courses, there are Microsoft free courses. You can pay as little as 30,000 to have access to tons of courses monthly. You can decide to upgrade your CV by doing a certain courses. Some of them you even have access to save, their pages and download their some of the materials. Some of them are free, some they you can't, so, but what I'm saying is, use some of these things. These are things that you can leverage opportunity. You can learn how to speak well, how to network. All of these things I'm sharing, even on social media. You go to YouTube and there is a message. There is one of the you can search for the best TED Talks in Africa or in Europe, or in best TED Talks or best speech ever made on a TED Talk platform. And you listen, sit down and listen, about productivity. These are leveraging things that you can, gain. So, in other words, leveraging requires a combination of self awareness and, like I said, strategic thinking and action. So, by understanding your strengths and building your network, seizing opportunities, you can achieve remarkable success in your career. So, the power is actually in your hands. The power is in your hands. And thank you for listening. So, I'll be taking questions now.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. That was sure value packed. I learned quite a lot, and I have my notes here. Thank you very much. All right, right now we're going to be asking questions. So please, if you have any questions, style, and then getting education. He also talked about finding a way to serve. This particular word, I learned it from Oprah Winfrey. She mentioned it in one of her speeches. I listen to people a lot. So she said it's important to find a way to serve. And he mentioned on ways by which you can practice all that you've been learning. He also said you should find your niche, leverage your network, show up for people, give back to the people and to the community, and leverage on opportunities. Thank you so much, sir. I really want to see us in the comment section saying thank you, sir. Hello, Stella. Hello, Godwin. Hello, Esther. I want to see your comment saying thank you, pharmacist Samuel. All right, all right. Thank you very much, everyone. All right, Prosper is asking a question, sir. It said, my question is, do you think leverage can be abused or misused in any form?
Okay. Um, do you want me to answer that now or at the end of the session?
Yes, I can answer now.
Okay. So, there is nothing like abusing leverage. I am trying to understand where the question is coming from, and my guess is leveraging your network. Talking about relationships and all. So um, you cannot. So when we say you can abuse relationships, but you cannot abuse leverage. The whole idea of looking out, you know, within your space, within your circle, to get what you want for a particular thing or project or for your career is called leverage. That whole system is called leverage. you know but when we now go into the scope of relationship, which are some of the things I shared, which has to do with the pragmatic ways, because before you can leverage a relationship, there has to be that relationship. So in other words, if the relationship does not exist, like I said, if you are considered a parasite, a parasite, it means that you continue to take, and none of your circle can say, okay, this is what you are contributing, then the relationship is faulty. That is not the relationship you can leverage. So the idea of abusing leverage, it doesn't really exist. It doesn't really exist. The things that you can leverage can either exist or not exist. And if they don't exist, it means that you can't leverage them. For example, I have met some people can be a loner. What I mean loner is, and in the sense that when you look at their lives, they don't really have a friend. They don't have anybody in particular that you can say, okay, these are the tribe of this person, these are the best of the same feather. They are just, and most of the time it is born out of trauma, mental health issues, depression, a early stage. It is born out of a whole lot of psychological issues. But a healthy person will always want to be in a community. So it is relatively impossible to abuse leverage. It's either what you are supposed to leverage does not exist. So if it does not exist, it means that you can't. If you don't have a relationship, a network that you can leverage, if all your friends are like that's another problem of having symmetrical friends. Everybody that you know are like you. If someone says, oh, I am a this, I am a music engineer, I am a, people, you begin to mock them that, you are a surgeon, you are a veterinary doctor. What do you have to do with a lawyer or a music? You begin to, so it means that you are breaking some of the things that you are supposed to leverage on. The fact that, okay, one day you might have a family member who is interested in music, or even your children, and you can refer to this person, oh, maybe you need to speak to this person. So that particular relationship does not exist, so you can't leverage it. A faulty relationship that doesn't, so that's the system. So you can't abuse per se leverage. It doesn't really exist. Abuse and leverage, it doesn't coexist. Yeah, so I'm done. Hello, can you hear me? Hello. Okay, so, oh, I think there's a network issue. I'm seeing another question from Mr. Victor Luatimileni. Okay, so I'll have to wait for our host. Um, Yes, welcome back. No, no. So, I was yes. So I yes. So your temperament is a. I maybe we can. It's still not yet a science. I'm not sure where we have pushed the discourse to, whether it's still an hypothesis or it's still in the works, whether it's a fact, all of those things. So I'm not very sure now, but I think the idea around temperament is trying to understand your innate self, trying to understand your response to various activities. So you will hear the same people like sanguine, they like to talk, they are quite a little bit outspoken, aggressive, forward going, so they call them sanguine. But when you look at some of these things, those are some of the things that make up yourself. They are your essence in quote. When they say essence, it means that every bit of things, information, values, every bit of fiber, your genetic makeup when it comes to your in terms of your social makeup. So someone who is a little bit melancholic, I think they are a little bit more reserved, quite slow with decision. I think so. It's more of a science around your response, your social response, social coordination. So I kind of agree that you can, because that is who you are, so to say. So that's what I'm trying to relate it to. So it can be a pointer to who you really are. So you can it is very important that you understand, and in any way it can affect. So it can affect in the sense that we talked about self-awareness. Self-awareness has to do with understanding who you are, your identity, what you have, your set of skills, who you have, the people around you, where you are. Do you get? So, and the opportunities that you can attract. So these things cannot be separated from who you are, because who you are is in the central is the centrality of all of these things. For example, if you are kind of melancholic, you are kind of there is choleric there. If you exhibit a certain type of trait that you find comfortable, so it can. For example, I have a book here. It's titled by uh, I think every job, the perfect job for your temperament. I think that's the title. Can't remember. It's either 100 jobs you can do based on your temperament. There's an understand. There is the person trying to link it to your set of your temperament and the kinds of jobs you can do. So if you don't like to talk too much, you talk to yourself a lot. You have a lot of conversations in your head. So you may not be able to do some jobs, because even if you're helping people solve their problem, the fact that you are not seeing talking, you are not seeing, the gesture is not there. Maybe in the areas like hospitality, you need to be, oh, welcome, what can we offer you, how did you like our service? Area of hospitality, customer service, CRM, customer relationship management, you know customer relationship management, client relationship management, where you really are HR, human resource, where you have to solve people's problem, people to people's problem, people business to business problem. You cannot be I don't know which is which is the more like a gentle, whether it's melancholic or choleric. There is one that where you say they tend to be nerd. Some of them, they thrive in things like digital, where they can sit with their computer, sit with their work, they work at best alone. But people like sanguine, they like people around them, because That is how they come alive, by interacting with people, by moving. Oh yeah, get this done. They are, in fact, sometimes better managers. They are expressive managers. So because in management you have to, there is no silent manage. You can't manage people from silence. So it can affect leverage in the sense that it can affect the type of things you do. It can affect your relationship with people. It can affect, because that is who you are. I mean, that is your identity. So it plays an important role in the entire context or idea of leverage. So understanding your temperament, knowing what you can do your best, it will give you an idea of the opportunities that you can leverage. To this event, let's go and network. Let's People who would, buy you clothes and say, oh yeah, this is the clothes. You need that kind of people in your life. You need a mix, a blend. You need people who will push you and push you. At the same time, you need people who will slow you down. So everything just has to be in balance. And that is what we talk about, leveraging your network. There should be someone in your network that can be a voice. I call them external conscience. So when you are, straying, there is someone that you can look up to and say, okay, does this really make sense? I'm about to take this job. These are the pros, these are the cons. I don't know. This is far from me, this is closer. There should be people like that. And there should be someone that, see, no matter what, take it. When you get to the stage, you can now negotiate for another branch. You need a blend. It creates, it stimulates your mind. You become a strategic thinker. That is how you drive out your innate ability to think fast, to think right and think fast. You need counsel from a mixture of both. So
My note is filled up. Thank you very much, sir. All right, all right, all right. So right now we are going to be having the next speaker, who is Oladotu Ajayi. But before Oladotu Ajayi comes up, I just want one person to type in the comment section and just say whatever stood out for you in Pharmacist Samuel's session. You can do that as I'm going to be reading Oladotu Ajayi's profile. Thank you, Joy Salami. She says, people love to buy from places they can take beautiful pictures too. Okay, thank you, Joy. Prosper, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Shea. I want to see more comments. What did you learn from a session? What did you learn from a session? I learned to give. Yes, I learned to give. We should always give. Yes, like Joy also said, service. All right, thank you very much, everyone. So right now, I'm going to be calling biography to me. But we all know Oladoto Ajayi as a LinkedIn top voice, and he is the convener of LinkedIn Local Ogbomosho and the co-founder of Students on LinkedIn, if I'm correct. So I did not get to read his bio, but trust me, this is a man filled with a lot of knowledge and insight. And you do not want to miss out on a session. So please and please invite your friends, bring them on this call because you'll be learning a lot, a lot. So I'd like to welcome the Oladotun Ajayi on this call. Hello, sir. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me? Can you see me? I can't see myself, so I'm trying to come in. Hello, can you hear me? Am I very audible?
Well, you're not so audible. You were more audible than this before.
Okay, I'm coming. Okay, can you see me as well? I don't think I can see myself currently.
Well, I can see you, but not on the main screen. I can see your ring light, but not on the main screen.
Okay, sorry, you said you can see what?
I can see your ring light, but not on the main screen. I think Mr. Olanipekun should help with that.
Alright. How about now? Sorry.
No, I can still. It's Pharmacist Samuel. I can see on the main screen. Okay, yeah, I can see you now.
Okay. Okay, so good evening everyone. I'm super excited to be
But I'm
here.
seeing your
This
ring lights, by the way. I think you
oh
should
my god.
bring the camera forward to you.
Okay.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so can you see me very clearly? Like very clearly.
Yes, I can see you clearly.
Okay. All right. So, good evening, everyone. I'm super excited to be here, and I'm also very excited to be on this session this evening. And thanks to the convener of this program for the invite. I have something very exciting to share this evening on the topic of the point of leverage, right? Maximizing your career potential, right? And before I dive straight into what I have tonight, I'd love to, just share background of my story and how I got started, how I was able to use the word leverage, right, to achieve every of the things that I've achieved today, and how I've been able to also, use leverage to do the things that I am currently doing right to this moment, right? Okay, so I started out in the career space quite fully in 2021. Yeah, sometimes around 2021. I was quite naive. I was just a student in school who doesn't exactly understand what he wants to do, right? Because I studied nursing in school, by the way. And for people that understand what nursing is all about, nursing is a program that is quite packed, that do not exactly have um, the luxury of time, like to, do a lot of more things outside nursing. When you're in nursing, you just have to focus on nursing, and you do not actually have the luxury of time to do a lot of more other things, right? But I wanted to be different. I wanted to do things differently. I wanted to contribute to change around myself, around my community, and for myself as well, right? And I found out about LinkedIn, right? I got to know about LinkedIn in 2020, but I did not get active until sometimes around 2021, right? And that was because I was just um, I was very oblivious about the things that I wanted to do. I was just on the platform trying to see the things I would love to, get onto, right? And fast forward to about um, 7 to 8 months after I joined LinkedIn, I found what I wanted to do. Right. And ever since then, LinkedIn has been a very huge leverage for myself. And I've been able to use the platform as something that is beyond just LinkedIn. I've been able to use the platform to, engage with professionals in different fields and different sector, who has been a very huge contribution to myself and to the things that I currently do, and even outside the LinkedIn space in general. Okay, so this evening we want to talk about the points of leverage, right? Maximizing your career potential. So first, what do you understand by leverage? Leverage is something that you have or do not have, right? And you are trying to use those things to achieve something great, right? For example, leverage can be in different forms. Leverage can either be the things that you already have or things that you wish to have to achieve some bigger things that you are actually envisioning, right? Because first, you need to envision something before you say that you want to embark on the journey of becoming on that regard, right? The Bible also, talked about the fact that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, right? So you need to envision first, right? And by envisioning, you might be able to, come around or come or manifest the things that you are thinking about, right? For example, I want to achieve something in the career industry, right? I need to understand what leverage means in this regard. And leverage in this regard can mean that I want to leverage on someone's understanding on a particular sector or someone's understanding on a particular area. So, push me to do things that I do not really know much about, right? And for example, all of my time on LinkedIn, I've been able to, understand how to build relationships. There are different types of leverage, right? And I'll be, highlighting those examples as we proceed, right? There's first leverage of relationships, right? Over the years, I've actually understood the fact that relationships are a huge catalyst, right? And I've benefited a lot from relationships, right? For example, when I was trying to host my first edition of LinkedIn Local Promotion, sometimes around 2023, right? I was able to understand what it means to use relationships, the relationships that I have to, achieve the things that I actually envision to achieve, right? For example, when it comes to fundraising in that regard, I was able to, reach out to people that I know or people that have been following my work for quite a while to, pitch my project, pitch whatever it is that I was doing at that time to them. And I was able to see that, this is a very good platform and avenue to, pitch myself to individuals that could maybe support my project or donate whatever it is that I was doing, right? So LinkedIn was very good idea, right, to actually leverage on for what I was trying to do as regards that project, right? I was able to, raise funding by just leveraging LinkedIn, what I was building on LinkedIn to reach out to people that I know that could be of help, right? And that's leverage on its own, right? Leveraging relationships can be in different regards, right? And first, you need to understand that um, relationships actually needs to be serviced on its own, right? You can't just say that you want to keep leveraging relationships and not contributing in whatever way it is to those relationships, right? Over the years, if you are not someone that contributes mutually to relationships, you might end up not getting as much leverage as you want for those relationships. For example, if you're someone that actually has the idea of organizing a project, right, you can be able to leverage relationships and knowledge of people that has gone fired in that space by asking them questions. That's you trying to compress time. You are compressing time in that regard because you're trying to reach out to people that have gone fired in that space, that know much than you in that space, and also trying as much as possible to learn from them and use what you're learning from them to actually achieve great things in that regard. So leverage can be in terms of relationships, and it's a very broad spectrum idea because if you are not trying to also contribute to those relationships, the leverage you're trying to um, have through those relationships might not, be very beneficial, right? For example, you are trying to also get on maybe a fellowship, right? And you know someone that's gotten into that fellowship previously or previous year, right? You can actually leverage your relationship by going to the individual, asking questions from him or her, right, on how he was able to apply for this thing and he got in, right? That's you trying to compress time and also, averting failure in that regard. And another thing I would also mention is that leverage can be, failure can be a leverage, right? And what do I mean by this? Failure is a feedback from the future, right? I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Failure is a feedback from the future. For example, if you fail today, you're already informing your future of lessons that would actually, help you not to make those mistakes again, And by that, failure is going to be curbed by you understanding and learning from this present, right? So failure and error is a feedback from the future, because your future already has lessons from the past, which is your failure, and the future is going to be able to, learn from those mistakes and be able to find the direct path to go and not actually fail in that regard again. So leverage can be a failure, can be a leverage, and errors that you make today can be a leverage because they are feedbacks for the future, right? For example, if an individual maybe applied for a fellowship today and he or she doesn't get into the fellowship, right? He or she will understand that the failure that he or she had this time around is more of like a lesson for the individual, because he or she is going to be able to calm down and settle and reflect on every of the mistakes that he made, right? And he or she is going to be able to understand that, yes, I need to act better in this manner. I need to write my essays better to be able to get into this fellowship, right? So it's a feedback for the future, because the future actually gets informed about the lessons and the ideas that, okay, this thing I should do better, right? So error and failure are feedbacks for the future. And over time, I've been able to learn this myself, and I've been able to actually apply that to my daily, activities. Because, for example, if I fail today, it's just more of understanding that, yes, today I need to take these lessons and get other things that I need to do better in the future, right? If I'm not learning from my failures today, that means I'm not giving a feedback to my future, right? And that's going to actually, affect a lot of things in the future, right? So understand that I don't want you to take failure as something that is the end of life for you, because these things are all encompassing, right? And you need to understand how best to position yourself and do things better in this regard, right? So take failures and errors or whatever mistake it is that you make today as a feedback for the future, right? If you are saying it in that light, you'll be able to understand that, yes, you are actually, opening your mind much more for lessons, right? And you're trying to open your mind much more for things that can make you act better in the future or in the coming days, right? So, for example, if an individual maybe invests in a venture today and he or she lost all his money, you cannot just tell me that that same individual is going to, invest um, that kind of amount that he lost today in the investment in the future too, right? That's just going to be like folly of the individual, right? So he or she investing that kind of amount today and losing everything is just going to be a feedback for the future or subsequent times that, oh man, I'm not supposed to, invest in this business again, or whatever investment platform it is that the individual invested in, right? So failure is a feedback for the future, right? So understanding this is going to help you shape your mindset, and it's going to help you re-engineer yourself to be able to understand how best to, go about things um, further, right? And also, you need to actually leverage on, legacy, right? For example, you need to understand that legacy is creating a future that you may not be a part of, right? And that's you understanding the aspect of impact, right? If you do not understand the aspect of impact, you may not be able to understand how best to, leave a legacy for yourself. Because you need to understand that you need to create things that transcend time. If you do not create things that transcend time in this regard, sorry, just a minute. Yes, sorry, apologies. I hope I'm very audible. Am I very audible? Like, can you hear me,
Yes,
please? Can I get a
yes, yes.
feedback? Okay, okay, all right. Thank you very much. So I was speaking about the fact that legacy is creating a future that you might not be a part of, right? And what I mean in this regard is actually, impact, right? And you understanding and putting yourself in the mind frame of impact would actually help you achieve a lot of things in your career space. Because the world is actually, attracted to people that are giving, right? You cannot just be an individual existing without contributing to society. You cannot be existing without contributing to something. You cannot be existing without contributing to a venture, right? If you are just here, you're not contributing to something that transcends time. You are not really doing something very spectacular for yourself, right? And I need you to understand that you need to create impact, right? You cannot just be existing and be existing for just yourself, right? People that create future and create change do not exist for themselves alone, right? You exist for yourself and for people, right? I mean, you are here today because you have something that is driving you, right? You are here today because you have something that is pushing you, right? And you need to understand that solving a problem and creating a solution would actually help you create impact, right? And that impact in itself would help you transcend time, right? So understand that legacy is actually creating a future for yourself that you may not be a part of, right? And that's you getting engaged in impact activities, doing things that transcends time, transcends the present, and doing things that actually, are beyond you, right? If you don't have a dream that is beyond you currently, you are not doing something very spectacular, because people that are trying to change the world, people that are trying to create change, have dreams, have vision that are bigger than them currently, right? If you're not dreaming beyond yourself currently, you are not dreaming big yet, right? So understand that you need to have visions and dreams that are currently beyond you, right? So having these things will actually, help you create a mind frame for yourself that yes, you're trying to create a change, you're trying to create a legacy for people, you're trying to like do things that transcend time. And I mean, at the end of the day, these things are really going to, be of a great fulfillment to you if you are someone that you're tuned towards impact, right? I mean, whatever it is that you're trying to do, ensure that you're creating a system for impact, right? Because once you leave this world, I mean, people should be able to say that when Olados Ajayi was existing, he was able to inspire me, he was able to, teach me things that I was able to use for my career, and I'll be able to learn a lot of things from him that, I mean, if he had not been existing, I might not have learned these things, right? So ensure that you are trying as much as possible to create a legacy for yourself, and not just legacy for yourself, you are making impact in people's life, right? Because if you are not making impact, you are not doing things that, I mean, transcends now, and you're not doing things that transcends just yourself, right? So understanding these things will actually help you scale faster and better in whatever venture it is that you're trying to build, right? So another thing I want you to understand while you're trying to maximize your career potential is actually mastering intentionally sorry yeah, you're trying to master intentional exposure, because sometimes a lot of individuals in this current age don't understand how to master exposure, right? Exposure is you having a very good understanding about the fact that your local community is not just what you are trying to contribute to. For example, I went for an event in 2022 in Lagos. That was my first time in Lagos in 2022. I went for an event called LinkedIn Local Lagos, right? I was very inspired because, I mean, I traveled all the way from Ogumosho to Lagos because I knew what I was going to get there. And as at that time, I had not, traveled to Lagos for any conference whatsoever. I'm just always streaming online, right? But there was something that event did to me, right? Something very tangible, right? I got to be exposed to a lot of things that changed my mindset and changed my perspective towards life, right? And at that event, that was where I got the idea to organize links to local promotion, because I was very inspired. I was just so inspired and blown away by the things and number of things that, I mean, the Covenant did at that event, right? So I was very inspired, and I thought that, I mean, I wanted to replicate this link to local Lagos to Ogbomoso in my local community, right? So that's me using my exposure to do something different in my community, right? And at that time, I mean, I did not have as much capacity to host events, to fundraise and everything, but I mean, I trusted in myself. I had actually envisioned, like I mentioned earlier, I had actually envisioned something great for myself in that regard. So I mean, I just took a leap of faith. I went ahead to organize things local promotion, and I mean, the first edition was quite mind blowing, and I myself, I was very proud of myself, because I mean, I never expected that kind of result, um, coming up and training up, because I mean, God was so involved, because I couldn't have done that all by myself, and thanks to God for a relationship that I was able to also leverage, right? So understanding these things would help you, scale faster and pivot much better, right? Quality exposure, intentional exposure, acquiring taste, right? For example, you need to acquire enough taste for yourself, because if you do not acquire taste, there are things that you might be doing currently that might not appeal to a global standard, right? You need to understand universal appeal, right? If you're not appealing the globe, you're just appealing your local community. You're not getting prepared for a global standard, right? So what you're doing currently must be applicable globally, right? If what you're doing currently is not can't be replicated in the United States, cannot be replicated in the United Kingdom or Canada, or whatever it is that you're trying to do currently, you cannot be a global individual, right? Try as much as possible to ensure that you have um, a quality for taste, right? Intentional exposure makes you have quality for taste. For example, if I had not gone to Lagos at the time, I would not have gotten a quality exposure that would make me understand how best to even do better as regards organizing into local commercial, right? So having intentional exposure and acquiring enough taste will actually make you understand how best to do these things, right? So ensure that you are not just acquiring things, you're actually implementing those things beyond what you've acquired, right? You want to do things better, and you're not just trying to replicate everything you're learning or exposing or getting exposed to over the time, right? Do you understand? You're doing things much differently, and you're doing it in such a way that would make the world drop to you. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're not giving back to your community, you're not going to attract anybody, right? Because people are more drawn to the world, and the universe are more drawn to people that are contributing effectively to their community, not just to themselves but to the people around them, right? So ensure that you are trying as much as possible to contribute to your community, because if you are not contributing to your community, you might not be able to, get the kind of attraction that you are probably. Can you hear me? Am I very audible, please? All right. Okay. So, I was mentioning about the fact that you need to like contribute very effectively to your community, right? The best of you is in you, right, and the completion of you is in others. Right. I don't know if you got that. The best of you is in you, right? And the completion of you is in others, right? You need to understand that you cannot do things alone. You cannot just be doing things for yourself, right? If you're not contributing to people, you might not be complete in that regard, right? So understanding that the best of you is in you and the completion of you is in others is you understanding how to leverage relationships and the people around you, right? You cannot just be contributing to yourself just alone. I mean, you are not creating a legacy for yourself. I'm so sorry. I had a call coming in. Can you hear me, please? Am I very audible? Hello, please. Okay. So I was saying that the best of you is in you and the completion of you is in others, right? That's you understanding how to contribute to your community, right? And not just yourself. Because if you're just contributing to yourself, you're just being yourself alone, right? And if you're contributing to others, you are going to try as much as possible to also understand that you are not just doing things for yourself, but for the community, and you're trying to create a legacy that transcends time, right? And that's what I live for, right? I'm much more concerned about impact than just doing things for myself. I mean, after at the end of the day, if I do things to, get it that would actually, just help my community, right? So understanding this early has actually helped me do a lot of things when it comes to impact. And by the grace of God, I would keep living by the standard, and I would keep impacting my society the best way I can, right? So I mean, these things are actually things that has been holding me forth for quite a while. And I would keep doing these things because I understand um, the extent to which a legacy being created can have an impact on people's lives, right? People that are naive, people that I was once naive to, right? If I did not get the exposure and the impact I had on my life, I wouldn't be where I am today, right? So I understand these principles, and I'm able to also, understand how best to um, pay this forward to people, right? So I've been talking about leverage all the while, right? And I want to talk about the leverage of choices and chances, right? Sometimes there can be a complexity of choice, right? And sometimes when you have the complexity of choice, when you have a lot of choice and you're trying to find it very difficult to choose something, you might actually have a choice paralysis, right? What I mean by this is that, for example, if I go to a shopping mall, sorry, a car mall, and I'm trying to like price a lot of cars that um actually interest me, missing say about 5 cars to 6 cars that actually interest me, and having the money and having to choose as well might be a conflict in that regard. And having to choose at the end of the day might just when you have lesser options, right? Choosing is going to be very much more easy. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. For example, if I have 10 options to choose from, it might be difficult for me to choose from those 10 options. But for instance, I just have two options. I mean, I just need to know what the odds are, and I'll be able to like make my decision very much easily, right? So understanding that you need to like put yourself in a frame of lesser choices, and you not having choice paralysis is going to help you do a lot of things in your career, right? You want to put yourself in a frame of having to set a standard for yourself that some choices that are not very relevant to you will be swept away, right? So understand that choices in this regard actually helps you, but you need to like have a way or create a way to reduce the number of your choices not to be as much complex for you, because if choices are very complex, it's going to be very difficult for you to choose. But for example, if you have a lesser choice, it's going to be very much more easy for you to, choose, right? I'm not saying you should not have multiple choices, right? But having multiple choices that matches your standard would make you understand how best to choose quite effectively, right? And today I want to do something very different. I really want to. I just hope I'm not really exceeding my time. I want to like create room for people to ask questions, because I mean the art spans of people is what should be given responses to. I'm not just me speaking from my head, from what I think you might be needing, right? Asking your questions would actually make me understand what you need and how to, speak on these things, right? But before that, I'd just like to speak on a few more things, right? So you need to also understand and have a leverage of where you are, right? For example, some people are still at point A, and some people are at point B, sorry, and some people are at point C, point D, and all of that, right? So understanding where you are and how to, scale from where you are to is also very important, right? For example, if you are just starting out in the career space, you need to understand your leverage, right? You need to understand that at that point you are needing leverage of relationships and networking, right? You cannot just be starting out today and saying that you want to start all by yourself, right? You might not get your answers, right? You need to like find the leverage of networking and relationships, and that's why you need to like start attending events, right? If you're not attending events and you're in the university at this point, you are still playing, right? Because if you're not going for events, you're not going out for events, you're not attending seminars. Where do you want to meet your type of people? Where do you want to meet people that want to inspire you to do things, right? For example, just myself, I started attending events when I was in 200 level, right? That was 2020, right? If I did not go out to attend events at that point, I mean, I would not have maybe met a lot of people that I've met today, right? And I might not have been inspired to do a lot of things that I'm doing today, right? And by the way, inspiration is not enough, right? Discipline is enough, right? You cannot just be inspired and just keep getting inspiration. If you're not disciplined enough to do things, you might not do them, right? So understanding that you need not just to be inspired, you need to like have a culture of discipline. If you're not being cultured to be a disciplined individual, you might not actually do a lot of things in life, right? You might just be getting inspiration everywhere, going for event, getting inspiration, and not doing anything with the inspiration, right? So inspiration coupled with discipline will make you achieve multiple things, and you'd achieve some exponential result that you might never think of. Achieving in like next few years, right? So understanding that inspiration is not just enough, discipline is would actually help you do a lot of things, right? And what I was saying is that you need to understand that you need to go for events. You are in the institution, you're just sitting in school, just going to school, just going to classes. You not achieve as much as well you might, right? But the odds are just different, because someone that is not just studying in school and is doing some other things outside school is actually preparing himself for better opportunities, because what actually separates individuals, for example, in the next 5 years now, what is going to be the product of your life is the people you meet, the opportunities you get onto, and the places that you go, right? The people you meet are going to be the ones to get opportunities, right? And you get all of these things in the places that you go, right? And that's your understanding exposure, like I mentioned. If you're not pushing yourself to get exposed, there are a lot of things that you're just depriving yourself of, right? So please understand that you need to meet people. Relationships are very, very important, because if you are not getting yourself or putting yourself in the trap of getting to meet people, you might not meet people that can maybe contribute to, whatever it is that you want to do in the future very effectively, right? So understanding networking in this regard is very important. Networking might be sounding cliche, but the word is weighty. It has a lot of weight, right? Because if you are just looking at networking from the point of just networking, going to event networking, I mean, you might not really achieve a lot of things. But if you're looking at networking in such a way that you are trying to like put yourself in the confinement of future prospects, then you're trying to, I mean, know how to leverage your relationships and actually, nurture them as well. Because it's not just enough to network, it's like very enough for you to service your relationships and nurture them to a point of good mutualism, right? So understanding these things would actually, help you scale faster in whatever it is that you're doing. And at the end of the day, you're going to achieve so many results, right? So understanding leverage in this regard is actually going to, get you on a more um, good path, right? And keep you moving on a very good slope. So I really hope I've been able to like speak on some of the major things that can actually help you, get on more leverages and actually help you, scale faster in whatever it is that you're doing. So I want to give room for like a lot of more questions right now because I understand the fact that I mean people have questions, and if questions are not being answered, there might be a lot of retarding, right, in whatever progress they're trying to make. So, I mean, if anybody has any questions, please do also ask me. I'm willing to answer every of your questions. Hello, can you hear me, please? Hello, am I very audible? Can you hear me? Okay, so I mentioned if anyone has any question, they can like go ahead to ask questions in the chat box. Yes, I can hear you. Hello, I can hear you. I can.
Okay, okay. Now, this is what we want to do now. We want to do something. I realize that this stream is kind of long, and then we want to give the people about 7 minutes recess. So we want to give the people about 7 minutes recess so that they can stretch, walk around if need be, or reset their data. Some people need to refill their data and all the likes. So we are going to start with a question before we enter the last session for tonight. Because there is an announcement I want to make for everyone that joined. This profound event uh, is well curated. It's not just going to go like that. This is a regimented event. It's a master class. No matter the form that is taken, it does not take out the fact that what our people are hearing now is a bedrock for a successful career. And then we need to let people also understand that when we are talking about career, we're not talking about people that obtain a white collar job. We are talking about a visionary life. A career person is a visionary, someone that know that this is what my life entails, this is what I'm going after. That is your career, that is who you represent, that is your persona. And that is why this event is there. What Olamido has been sharing this, I mean, this evening, in fact, those are profound events from Akombi is, in fact, it has been a fireful session. Please, everyone, we just want to give you a recess. We are not saying the event has ended. Just take like 5 minutes, 7 minutes. We will end the stream so that you can join afresh. We want to refresh you. We don't want you to just sit down having back pain. Some people are having cramp, sitting for too long or standing for too long. So we just want to give you a 5 minutes recess. Our guest speaker will still be in the room, and our third speaker is already in the room. So everyone, thank you so much for joining once again. Just 5 minutes recess. Please, let's all converge here again. The platform that you are watching from is still this platform we'll be using. After 5 minutes, the stream will be up again, or after about 5 7 minutes, we'll be up again. Thank you so much for doing this with us tonight. We love you. We are happy to have you. Thank you, Olamidotun Ajayi. Thank you, Mr. Abayomi Perez. I can see you. Thank you for honoring our invite. Thank you for making time out for us. Thank you for being a part of this transforming event, this life transforming event. Thank you so much. I believe we all understand. If you understand me, let me hear you in the comment section. Do you get what I'm saying? You will